Welcome friends to another r/entitled parents video. Today we've got a crazy story of an entitled mother wanting money from their kid who apparently made money through promiscuous means. But first a story from Miradonna. Your money? Whenever I got cash on my birthday or Christmas, my mother would borrow it. When I asked for it back, she answered, "I paid your part of the rent and your food with it. You can have it back, but then you'll pay for rent and food for yourself every month from now on." I was 10, and it continued until I moved out. She denies it ever happened. My father paid her converted $800 USD every month, and he only had to pay $380 USD. I got around $1,000 USD in money presents every year. Oh, you gotta love when parents steal from their own kids and try to brush it off. Oh, you little 10-year-old you thought you got some gifts. Oh no, I'm gonna take it all from you, and then I'm gonna threaten illegal actions against you. If your parents did this kind of thing to you when you were a kid, is that the kind of thing you would grow up and then cut off contact with your parents over? Especially considering they denied it ever happening? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story is from Miko the Rogue. My mom feels entitled to my home and bed. This has been an ongoing issue for almost a decade now. It's important to note that we live in different cities, with mine being the bigger one, so naturally my mom tends to visit this city for things like appointments and wants to spend the night. To give my mom the tiniest amount of credit, when I lived with my sister for university, we did basically have an open door policy for her, but she also did pay the rent, so it's more understandable that she's crashing there as needed. But I met and moved in with my now husband while still attending university. I moved out of my aforementioned shared rental with my sister and started paying my own rent. From basically the day I told my mom, she felt the need to comment on the space and where she could stay over in it. Husband and I initially moved into a 2-bedroom condo, with the intention for the second bedroom being that it would be a shared office space for us. The moment I told my mom we'd have a second bedroom, she talked about staying over with us. We corrected her and told her that no, it was going to be an office. She continued to insist that we would be putting a bed in there and she'd be staying over. When that didn't happen, she changed her tune to she would stay in our bed and my husband and I would have to stay on an air mattress. Since I was busy collecting my jaw from the floor, she relented and stated that she would let me sleep in my bed with her and my husband would be stuck on the air mattress. She justified it by stating that she bought that mattress, so therefore she was entitled to it. Which was true, she did buy it for us, to which I replied we would buy a new bed then. She chuckled, but seemed to get the picture and shut up about it. Then husband and I bought our own 2-bedroom condo, and the talks of her staying over fired up again. She insisted that we take this double mattress that she insisted was mine, but again, we wanted the second bedroom as an office. I asked her where she thought the bed would go. She insisted on the second bedroom. Mind you, we're now 5 years into the second bedroom as an office concept. At this point, I just have to believe she's being willfully ignorant. Time goes on, she seems to have quieted a bit. We live in the condo for a while. Then COVID hit and we find ourselves trying to work from home out of a single office, which with meetings and such just isn't cutting it. So we decide to buy a house. We end up buying a 5-bedroom, 3 up, 2 down, with each of us getting an office space and the intent of one of the bedrooms in the basement being a spare room. While this is the intention, there still isn't any bed down there or anything. Well, not only now does my mom insist that the spare room is her room, but now she's got it in her head that the basement's going to become an in-law suite where she's going to live once she gets too old to live by herself. Mind you, I've countered all of her insistences multiple times, sometimes better than others. I'll admit, at no point had there ever been any caving to her demands or insinuating that this might be a possibility. She can stay as a guest, sure, but that doesn't make it her room, and she certainly is never going to live with us. I literally got triggered from this post. I've had the same moment happen where somebody gives you a gift or you move out of a place and you take something with you that you imagined was yours, or you've just had something for multiple years that nobody's ever asked about. In my situation, it was a TV mounted on my wall. And over the last couple years, I've had a few situations where the person was like, well, I paid for that TV and I let you have it, so I should have this in return, or trade me this so it adds up to the value of the TV. And it got to the point where I literally went and bought a whole new TV so I can take that one off the wall and hand the old TV to them so they have nothing to guilt trip me about. It sucks for me because I hate saying no to people. I'm not a confrontational person, so I'm imagining my own parents coming to me and being like, well, we'll move into the basement when we get too old. And I don't know how I would really handle that situation, especially if they got nasty or blew up at me after that. Our next story is from Baby Spaceship. Should I run away from my toxic parent and start my own life? 24-year-old female. I have the most controlling, overbearing, and helicopter insane mother who determined my life decisions and everyday schedule up till now. She created an entire list of insane rules that we have to live under. She has full control over every single decision made in my life, and by keeping me physically away from my friends, our lives are codependent. I don't have a room, and my living space is a small area in the living room. Till today, I do not have the house keys and have to be accompanied if I want to go anywhere. I don't have any inch of personal freedom as my mother knows where I am and what I'm doing at every moment. In uni, I finally had some space of freedom. As a result, I was able to travel around on my own for the first time. Although there's a limit to the time interval of this freedom, it was better than previously, none at all. For the first time, I learned how to navigate around the city, etc., and soon became independent in controlling the activities of my day before I have to be home. I was satisfied with how things were going. I was supposed to have night classes in my final year of uni, and I thought that would greatly widen the limit of my freedom. However, COVID hit in the same year before my final year began. My uni converted everything to online-based, and I was trapped at home. All my newfound freedom disappeared overnight, and things got even worse. My mother soon got used to me being at home 24/7, and I'm constantly at her every beck and call. I feel extremely suffocated. Previously, she was always alone at home, and now she just got used to another being that's obliged to serve her. She's constantly nagging in the background, and I'm pushed to insanity numerous times. I constantly feel like a part-time slave at home. She shows no basic respect to my time and space. Even if I'm in the middle of my work, I have to attend to her for some minor things she can do on her own. She's physically healthy, but emotionally toxic and extremely manipulative to everyone around her. Even prior to COVID, she's left the house less than 10 times per year. She isn't in contact with any friends and her family and relatives. As a result, she put all her energy and time into controlling her children and husband. She's constantly throwing out demands to make everyone spare time to do something for her. Ever since this pandemic, I feel like I've downgraded from an independent adult back to a child. Even when I went to work this year, her actions remained the same. I can't happen but think that I'll be in this situation until she passes on and I lose my hope for the future. Since I was young, I've never had any friends as I'm unable to meet them outside school hours. My mother used to check my phone too. I feel ashamed and frustrated for being treated like this for no reason. Our conversation aren't always arguments. I found out how to please her, and we do have okay-ish days where we get along, although nothing stated above with regards to her control and my living condition changes. Arguments happen on a monthly frequency. Our lifestyle is codependent, so her bad mood will affect me negatively. I've tried to raise my concerns to her calmly numerous times on good or okay-ish days, but she just shut off the whole conversation in anger. It feels as though nothing will ever improve, as she's stubborn and in full control over everything. Living with her has caused me much stress and tension over the years. If I do nothing, I feel that my life will always be a shadow of what it could be and live in vain. During the pandemic, I accidentally found her house keys and have it in my possession since. She has no clue. I'm planning to disappear and leave one day. I have limited savings, but I plan to find a job right away. If I get a job now, I wouldn't be able to hide the company details from her, and she'll definitely be at my workplace if I disappear and leave. I plan to take with me only essential belongings and stay in a hostel until my finances allow me to rent a place. At the same time, probably due to years of conditioning, I feel bad and irresponsible for leaving, especially since her life revolves around me and my sibling, though it is her personal choice, and she brought us up. She's greatly reliant on me for many tasks, and I feel bad for leaving her abruptly. My younger bro is largely tolerant of her behavior, but he's in national service, and doesn't have to face her on an entire daily basis. He tolerates her and indulges in gaming to escape. She does not physically abuse us. Should I prioritize myself for once and leave for good? I don't want to be 30 or 40 and regretting that I've done nothing to stand up for my rights to live a proper life. But if I leave, I would also be cutting off my relationship with my brother and father, as they wouldn't be able to meet or interact with me and hide from her for long. I would say in no way is OP wrong for prioritizing their life, their sanity, and their wishes. I imagine it kind of feels like living in a zoo. You feel like you're an animal trapped in your enclosure, only let out to do chores. I would say whatever you can do. If you got out of there and you still wanted to talk to your father and brother, I would get like a social media that can't be tracked in any way, or maybe a new phone number and give it to them. Maybe even a cheapo burner type phone where you can use to contact your father and brother whenever you want and turn it off besides that. Whatever OP does, I hope it works out for them because they deserve to live their own life and be happy independently. By the way, if you're enjoying these stories, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below so you never miss any of my daily videos. Every single video has great stories, like our next one from Jolly Rancher 987, leaving my house because of entitled mom. I apologize in advance if this is a long story, but I need to write it down. I, 23-year-old female, have been trying to stay patient and always told myself I would leave my parents' house once I can afford a home by myself instead of renting. But the environment I live in is affecting my mental health, and I'm seriously considering getting an apartment. So basically, after my dad and mother divorced a few years ago and moved out, we've only had a few months of peace. My dad was another entitled parent before she brought another man in the house, her current boyfriend, without even telling me and my 17-year-old sister he was moving in. Remember, my sister and I are two girls. Both of us do not feel comfortable around him when we're home alone, although he's not a bad person. My mom has every right to be in a relationship, but the way she managed the situation, especially having two girls at home, is what really bothers me. Her boyfriend had an apartment of his own. She could have just gone to his whenever she wanted to at the beginning of the relationship before considering moving in together. Instead, he left his apartment and moved in with us. My mother doesn't really care. She clearly told me that she can do whatever she wants because it's her house. They have an on and off relationship, toxic by the way, and so when they break up, he moves out and then comes back when they get back together, which, in my opinion, is unhealthy for everyone. I currently work from home, and a lot of times, when they're home before leaving for work, especially him, they make phone calls on speaker at full volume while speaking loudly. He always leaves the bathroom dirty and I'm the one who cleans it. My mom doesn't tell him anything, even though I've already talked to them about both issues. But if it would have been me or my sister, she gets mad. I'm sick of it. Besides that, my mother doesn't show any interest or affection about me and sister as persons and human beings, but she does care about the money we owe her. Every paycheck, I give her money to contribute. I morally do it simply because it's in my values to help my parents. Although I don't currently feel any pleasure doing it for my mother, sometimes I don't simply because I can't, except for food. I still buy stuff because I have fitness plans, and so technically she generally doesn't have to pay for the food I use, and electricity. All my other expenses, I pay for them myself. I pay for the internet as well. I want to buy a car very soon and need to pay for university. So my mom's boyfriend was influencing her to buy a new TV because the old one wasn't functioning well anymore. Okay, that's fine, but why buy such an expensive one when you can't afford it? The washing machines also had problems. We needed new ones. She bought expensive ones, handed me the bill, and wants me to pay one of the machines. We're talking around $2,000 or more. I can't afford that. Yesterday, I had a fight with her because of that. I told her that I would help her, but now I need to buy myself a car and will do when I can. I never told her I wouldn't help. I just can't for now. She, of course, doesn't understand that. She thinks I'm just using everything around the house and not being responsible. I would have appreciated it if she would have at least asked for my opinion, not permission, of course, for the machine and if it was okay to help. She just expects me to do it. She just found a new job, which absolutely surprised me after working at a pharmacy for like 15 years. But at that moment, she would absolutely not do an effort to find a better job to pay her bills if clearly the one she has isn't enough. I don't know, I just feel like being a mother includes doing everything you need to have a better life for you and your children. I don't need her to pay for my things now that I'm a grown woman. It's just the way she proceeds and does stuff that bothers and hurts me. I can never ask her for help, and even if I do, she automatically expects me to give her the money back. Even besides money, she's the last person I want to ask for help. I'd rather ask help to a stranger before I ask her. There's this one time I will always remember. Last year, I came back home in a taxi after seeing some friends, and my debit card didn't work for some reason, even though I had money in my account and didn't have cash with me. It was late, around 1 a.m., and I hated that I had to call her to ask for $8, which I'd give back later. The next morning, she texted me for a whole hour, literally harassing me to give her back the money, saying, "You woke me up in the middle of the night, you better give me my money. I want my money, where's the money?" For $8 yo! I was so enraged I left her $10 and left the house for a while. I was crying from the anger. I'd never harass my daughter for $8. This is insane. And lastly, during winter, I was unemployed for 2 months because I couldn't find a job even if I was actively looking for one. Then when I got one, for complicated reasons, I started later than I was supposed to. I hate being inside for too long, and I was struggling with depression, gained weight. If I knew how long it would take to start at my current job, obviously I would have taken at least a temporary one. Because of document issues and processes, up until this day, I haven't received my unemployment money yet. So for more than 2 months, I had no income whatsoever. So when I was arguing with my mom yesterday, she had the audacity to say, "You're lucky because I was considerate when you had no job because you didn't give me money." Oh, so I'm supposed to say thank you? She didn't give me a single dollar at that time. Not that I would even want her money, but you get what I mean. She even thought that I was part of a gang and or had a boyfriend. I've been single for almost 2 years, that I'd help steal stuff for cars. She lost her car keys once when she gave me her car to buy something at the supermarket. I did get inside with the keys and put them on the kitchen counter because I had bags in my hands. My little cousins, who were both toddlers, were there playing around, but later that evening she couldn't find her keys. I started looking around because I couldn't understand how that happened if I came home with them and took care of them like she asked me to. She was screaming at me and later threatened me to call the cops on me because she thought I was doing it on purpose and was involved in something illegal. Turns out one of my little cousins was playing with it and had put it in my aunt's handbag when they came over. But that wasn't enough to convince my mom. She still thought I planned it all. I don't get how she can think so negatively of me. All I do is work, sports, dance, and go out with friends. The person who's supposed to know me best is the one who thinks the worst about me. All my friends think the complete opposite, and then she wonders why I never want to be home. The only thing keeping me here is my sister, who's also a victim of my mom's financial abuse. She often tells me she feels like she's being manipulated. Last year, my sis had gone through health problems, and I felt I was the only one actually worried, not that my mom wasn't, but her attention was not 100% on my sister's recovery. I felt her absent in some way because she's completely submerged in her own world. And so I felt like I had no choice but to take some sort of mother role for my sister. I've always been protective of her, but I do think my mom needs to do better. Anyways, if you've made it till the end, thanks. I'm gonna stop here, too much to say. All this to say that once I get my car, I'm moving out. It's scary and I know it'll be hard, but at least I'll have my own space. Any advice will be welcome. I don't think I personally would have any great advice for OP. I would just say don't let the entitled mom trudge all over you when you're trying to get out of there. Even if they go ballistic and try to find some threat of calling the cops or trying to blackmail you in some way. Like if anything like that happens, that just means you need to punch through it even harder and just get out of there. Even if it's like a cheapo apartment or you need to get a friend together and share a new place. Someplace where you can support yourself and just clear your head and live a little independently. And I would just say when you do move out, don't let the entitled mother still find a way to call you and text you incessantly and try to control your life remotely. Talk to who you need to talk to, but make sure that you just experience life independently. Our next story is from Effective Friend 106. Mom feels entitled to my money and wants me to give her 65% of my salary. My mom doesn't care about me or my life, and most of the time she's out with her boyfriends doing God knows what. I do my own stuff and pay for whatever I want with my own money because I have a part-time job. I'm still in school. Yesterday, I bought new headphones I'd been saving up for. When my mom saw this, she immediately asked me why I was wasting money on useless objects and told me to return it. Here's the crazy part. She got pissed and now wants me to give her 65% or minimum 60%, if she's feeling generous, of the money I earn at my part-time job. Because I'm her kid and I owe her for raising me and paying the bills in the house I live in. She's insane. If she wants the money so bad, she should ask her insufferable D-bag of a boyfriend for it and not her son who's still in school. It's not like she lends me or gives me money at all in the first place, so now I have to pay to exist. Great. I would basically do whatever you could to lock up your money in this situation and not inform her of anything. Paycheck, pay stub, the amount of money in your bank account, I wouldn't tell her any of that. I think it's ridiculous that she would scoff at you spending money you earned on yourself. And let's level here, it wasn't your choice for her to be spending money on you. She was the one that birthed you and she was the one who chose to have that 18-year commitment. So if you refuse to pay her that money, what is she really going to do? Kick you out of the house at 16 years old? OP says they live in the UK, so I'm not fully sure if at 16 they can kick you out of the house. They might be able to. All I would say is, try to save up as much as you can so you can get out of there. Our next story is from Millennial Bunny. Karen at the store tried to get the last almond butter from us for her kid. I can't believe the audacity of some parents. So me and my 13-year-old sister walked to the store yesterday. We pick up some Doritos and cola for ourselves. My mom calls and asks that we pick up a healthy snack for her. My mom's on this thing called the keto diet to improve her health to avoid pre-diabetes. Me and my sister go and find her favorite organic chocolate sugar-free almond butter. It was the last one on the shelf. Some lady with a 5-year-old kid walks up behind us and says, "He really likes this almond butter. Can you make his day and let him have the last one? He's growing and needs good nutrition." Me and my sister look at each other in disbelief. I say, "Sorry, no, we took it first." The Karen tells her kid that we won't give it up. He literally starts screaming and crying. The Karen with the kid gets pissed at us, calls us selfish and entitled like all teenagers are. Excuse me, Karen, but I'm not giving up healthy food for my mother just because your ugly kid needs nutrition to grow. Please, that might be the last one in existence and it's my kid's favorite. Without that nutrition from that almond butter, who knows if they'll live to see tomorrow? And while Karen's saying that, imagine a kid wailing and kicking their arms and legs on the ground screaming, like, "I'm sorry, it's a mild inconvenience to you at the best, but I'm gonna get the grocery I came here to get." If anybody in that situation's like, "Thanks a lot, you totally ruined my son's day," just hit them with a good old Thanos, "I don't even know who you are." I wouldn't lose a wink of sleep over that situation. I would enjoy my almond butter a little bit more though. This next story is from Chris Auvray 6. Mom gets angry at me for gently asking to go alone to a doctor's appointment. I, 21-year-old male, have several medical conditions, 2 of which could classify me as disabled, but I run from that label, maybe because of how I was raised. Because of that, I'm always in physical therapy, always inside a pool with a coach. All of that costs money, as many should know. Currently, I live off my dad's money. They've always prevented me from getting a job. He's a medium-sized civil construction business owner, so he was able to support me and my half-brothers. When I went out to live alone 2 years ago, I didn't have as many health issues, and the allowance my dad set up was more than enough for me to pay rent, college, and utilities. So I wasn't prepared for having an additional €600 expense. Well, yesterday I called my mom hoping that she could help me afford a €191 bill. After 3 years of not asking for more money or anything else, instead of helping me out, she just started asking where I was putting the money and if I was trying to take advantage of my dad. I cut the call short because I couldn't handle having my character questioned after 21 years of nothing less than flawless honesty and 3 years of good money management. Today, I subtly asked if she could skip my doctor's appointment, but I didn't say it was because she makes me nervous and uncomfortable and that I was still upset. She passive-aggressively lashed out at me, sounding very offended over WhatsApp audios. I just wanted to vent. Maybe just get to know if I'm wrong here. Sorry for the long text. Update, because I didn't want her in the office today, she's going back to our home country a month earlier, and I don't think she was planning on saying goodbye. Oh, you gotta love a good little bit of emotional manipulation from the entitled mother here. Good old guilt trip. Oh, well, if you don't want me around, you don't want me at your doctor's appointment, what am I even doing here? I'm just gonna leave early then. Clearly you don't care about me and you never did, blah blah blah, just goes on with that narcissistic manipulative BS. If your own mother treated you like that, should you just plan on cutting them off? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Our next story is from Motolicious Baby. Family demanding and controlling over how I dress as an adult. 21-year-old female. I haven't seen my father and stepmother in 5 years after struggling with a controlling and emotionally abusive environment growing up. I've grown a lot in personality, body, and opinion since then. The last time I was with this side of my family, I wore high-waisted jeans and a cropped sweater. I was not developed and didn't really have breasts or hips. I reached for a glass, which caused my sweater to lift and show a small bit of my midriff, and my stepmom freaked out, claiming I was being disrespectful to her household, inappropriate, and giving my siblings unchristian influences. She forced my father to sit me down and give me a talk about modesty, etc., etc., and it was finally the last straw. I have a lot more stories about my childhood. Granted, I was 16, but my bio mom purchased the sweater for me and didn't think it was at all inappropriate to wear. Fast forward to now, as an adult at 21, owning my own house and car, completing school and making a name for myself, one of my siblings requested me to visit for their birthday. I agreed as I hold nothing against my younger siblings, and I'm excited to try and be a beacon of independence for them to look up to. Tattoos, piercings, and attitude included. I was surprised this morning to wake up to messages from my stepmother reminding me to respect their household and their Christian views by dressing modestly and conservative, which took me right back to that moment when I was 16 being shamed about having a stomach to show. I'm now a woman with a large chest and hips, and no matter what I wear, my curves will show that I'm in fact an adult. She requested that I send her photos of what I plan to pack, which just rubbed me the wrong way. I chose whatever was in my closet that seemed the most conservative, and shockingly she seemed okay with it. So rather than wear the cute crop tops I'd recently been into, both cool for the summer and also helping me overcome my previous insecurities, I opted for some tank tops, jeans, a few t-shirts, and a dress that shows off my spine tattoo. I'm here asking y'all if you think I'd be ridiculed in front of my entire family about my breasts in the tank top, or my jeans being too tight, and what all comebacks you guys might have. I understand it's their household, but it's my body, and I just feel like I'm being criticized, not because I'm not modest, but because my stepmom just has something against me. I need to mentally prepare for this trip so that it doesn't make my anxiety and depression I've worked hard to control go into a tailspin. As a guy, I don't think I have great advice here besides just thinking that it's totally ridiculous that they would ask you to send photos and that something like a crop top is unchristian and they're concerned about giving your siblings unchristian influences. I mean, frankly, just not taking any crap from them is probably the best way to handle it, even if that means you gotta pack up and leave early. And our final story of the day is by Ragnars85. My mom thinks she's entitled to my prostitute money. So for the last couple of years, I've worked as a dancer at a well-known gentleman's club. It's quite high-end and security is very good. A customer only has to say something we don't like, and they would get kicked out. It's actually a lot of fun, and when it's a good night, the tips are great, and I managed to save a decent amount of money. I didn't tell my mom where I was working at, as I knew exactly what her reaction would be. Unfortunately for me, about a year in, someone she knew had come to the club and spotted me there. Of course, it didn't take long to get back to her. She hit the roof, called me everything you could think of, including a prostitute, and then kicked me out. I stayed with a friend for about a week until I managed to secure an apartment and decided to get on with my life. I'm making enough to support myself quite comfortably. I guess my mom found out about all of this from my sister, and she realized I was making decent money because out of nowhere she calls me to demand money, no hello or how are you, but I apparently owe her more for letting me live at home. I did pay rent while I was living at home, although I probably could have paid more considering I was earning quite a bit, but I didn't want to raise suspicions and gave my mom what was asked of me. Also, since my previous post, my mom's got my sister on board to try to get me to hand over some money. I still don't think I owe her any more. Considering she called you up out of the blue, no hello, no how are you, and started asking nothing but for money, I would say cut them off. It's obviously not on the same scale, but it's kind of like if you won the lottery, it sounds like your mom's that relative that pops up and is like, hey, you owe me this and that for doing this and that, so you better give me some money. It's not like she gave birth to an ATM. As far as I'm concerned, especially considering they kicked you out, you don't owe her anything. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. Now, if you want to see another entitled parent story that's even more insane than the ones in this video, click on the left video. Or if you missed my latest video, click on the right. That said, I'll see you all next time for some more stories.